Good afternoon. The City of Shelbyville Mayor and City Council Budget Review Work Session. The second session is, will start today, and it's June the 12th at about 12 noon. And we have gone through 8 of our items, and we want to go to the number 9 at cemetery, and I see our folks here. Ben Chapman, how are you?
Good, sir.
Good, good. All right, if we can start with that, yes. Roll call.
Citizens comments.
Citizens
I don't think
comment.
there are any.
You got anybody signed up?
No, sir. I just gotta do formal call for it.
Okay. Thank you for reminding me of that. All right. Our second, Ben Chapman. Ben, will you, you're there for questions and answers, I guess. Have you got anything that you need to share with us?
You know, like, I asked for the things that we needed. That is the number one thing. Also, to try to give a conservative budget with we separating off the public works. It's hard to determine that this is exactly what I might need or foresee. So, you know, I did the best I could. This is my first one. So please be patient.
No excuses.
So, you know, I felt like all in all that we did attempt to make sure that it was conservative, but there is things being on our own that makes our job and our lives a little bit easier. If you have any questions with any particular item, I'd be happy to answer.
Okay, now you're asking for a part-time laborer, right?
Yeah.
All right, these are highlighted items that I'm seeing here. I went over them before. Anybody have any questions for Ben on what he submitted for his budget? Good job on the first year.
Mr. Mayor, yes.
Okay.
Then on the, which is not highlighted, the Bobcat track loader and dump bed. Currently, when you're needing those items, are you able to get those items?
If needed to be, I can relay with Buck that I need a steer. He's always done good at trying to accommodate, you know, the timing that I need it. The reason I need it is we have a tractor that we use to fill graves, and it takes 3 buckets, 3 trips to the dirt pile to fill 1 grave, which is a lot of time. The skid steer and the truck that I had originally quoted would make it to where I could load that dirt on a truck, drive out through the cemetery, and do a lot more work faster and more efficient to be able to do that if I had it on site to be able to use it. There was some attachments that I had gotten with the quote for the skid steer that I could get a sweeper and sweep the roads off. I wouldn't have to go to Public Works, load one up, borrow a truck and a trailer to bring that to the facilities to do the job. More detail?
It's not the tractor.
The tractor that we currently have also will go to the park. Me and Mike have talked, and it would be a big asset to them to use as well. The tractor, I forgot what year it is, but it only has 100 and something hours on it because it's not practical to use for what it was intended for. Which is the reason for the request for the track skid steer. The tracks also, you don't indent the ground, disturb the ground versus a rubber tired loader type tractor. It distributes that weight better with the tracks.
So that sounds like that's very essential.
It would be very helpful.
Your security camera system, do you have one in place?
We have some that I believe Buck they had done a Homeland grant that they put some security, updated the system to be able to ensure the coverage for the columbarium and the new sections. To stay with the same system was going to cost more than just updating with the new system as we currently are using for other city buildings. It's not a user friendly. If I have to go backwards, it's very complicated to go back through and on the recorder to read it. The new system would make everything more efficient on my end if I have to go back. And it's a lot cheaper to put all new cameras and go to and Kate could probably tell more about that than I can, but the brand system that we have, we can't just put two different styles. They won't work. So you have to stay with that same company. And to just add 2 cameras was 11,000. So I'm adding more cameras. I have a total of 8 cameras right now, and I will be going to 11. Or 12, sorry.
Anyone else?
And that seasonal part-time laborer, is that mainly for spring and summer?
Spring and summer, it would just be, I would work them 1,000 hours for the year, for that summer. It's just to help us gain ground on weed eating. Right now, I have 2 men working on the grounds and myself, and it takes 80 hours to just weed eat Willow Mountain. So when you split that up to 2 men, they're not weed eating 40 hours a week. We got to mow too, so that's the reason I'm trying to get a little help.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, Ben, thank you so much for being here. All right, the next item I have, there he is right there, Mr. Alton. Parks and Recreation Director. Might I say at this moment, it's kind of difficult to lose you, Mike, and I know you're going back to the family and retiring and all that, but what a job you've done. And all the people that you've had supervised, I really do think, I go over there and went over there before I was elected and saw all the people having a good time and enjoying that and how clean the facility was, and your people were always there to help, so I just want to let you know that before we start on your budget.
Appreciate that. I work with a really good crew, dedicated. They see the difference that we make in people's lives and from every position. So it's inside, outside, park maintenance, inside. They're all good to work with. It's been a pleasure.
Well, thank you for helping the city of Shelbyville for the rec hall. All right, has everybody had a chance to look over the budget for the Parks and Recreation? And do you have any questions for Mr. Alsop or Mike? Do you have anything to share with us that's maybe not a part of this, or why you have asked for something or something like that?
The operations is pretty much the same, all 3 divisions, parks, recreation, and athletics is what it was last year. Of course, hoping for an increase in pay, but besides that, not counting that, it's pretty much the same, but be glad to answer any questions about operations. Parks is first. Capital, always shock Kay with my capital request. The rollover on the Healthy Built grant is the Trails and Greenways Master Plan. And so we're into that. Reagan Smith intends to be finished, believes they can be finished by January. I'm hoping sooner than that. That one also relates to the 3rd item we have there. That's the 2nd item highlighted, is the rail trail survey, rail banking and cleanup. The rail authority would like to turn that over to us to maintain and to build a trail on. The rail line would stay in their name. It would still be under their ownership, but we would have an agreement where we would maintain it and build the trail and use it. We need a survey. I've got a copy of the blueprints of the trail. It's 100 feet, or the rail line. It's 100 feet wide in some places, 30 feet in others. Some places it looks like it's about the width of the rail line itself. That would be a really good opportunity for the city to be able to have a trail that dissects the middle of the city from east to west. That also opens up the grants from TDOT for the alternative transportation grants. I think those are 70-30. I've never put in for one of those, but I believe that's sort of the difference on that. So there are grants that are available to build this kind of trail and the rails to trails type opportunities there. I also think that there would be some probably some private donations that could be obtained for a trail like that from some of the corporate members of the community and others. So, so that's an important part. The one in the middle there, the biggie, is, you know, we've applied for the grant for the soccer complex. All three of those have to do with economic development, is in addition to providing transportation and recreational opportunities. You look at communities who have excelled in their economies. Chattanooga for years was the example that everybody around the country used, and there's a lot that goes into that. You start off with a really good master plan for the entire city. But the thing that everybody that you see at every one of these locations that have done that is the parks and recreation. It's trails, it's parks and recreation facilities. That's sort of the diamond in the ring set, are the parks and recreation facilities. They do boost the economy, and even with what we have done primarily in-house, but also with the new lighting and that kind of thing. We have tournaments almost every weekend now. Last weekend, the baseball softball league had around 90 teams here. They were as far as from my hometown of Goodlettsville and around the mid-state area. So no doubt they were buying some meals, maybe some gas, maybe went to the store to get Gatorade or something. There was an economic impact even with a tournament like that that was mostly probably teams that were close enough they didn't have to spend the night, but still they would have bought a meal and that kind of thing. So the trails and the park expansion, those are economic impact. They have an economic impact. So as you look at how to raise revenues without raising taxes, that's one of the ways you do. You do have to spend the money to get the facility, but in the long run, it will help to increase tax revenues. The next one underneath rail trail survey is HB Griffin parking. I've been asking for that or the paving for 5 or 6 years probably now. It's sort of falling apart. So if not this year, you ought to really look seriously at paving the roads out there. Some of them in particular are really falling apart. I talked to Buck one day and anyway, they're in bad shape. They do need to get on the list sometime soon. Rail trail development, pickup truck, like everybody. We got some old equipment that we're running. Appreciate the mower. That will get us all relatively new mowers once we replace this one. The Babe Ruth ball field lighting, that's the last field that we have that does not have LED lighting. It does have the newest lighting of all the other fields, so it wasn't in, that's why it was last on my list to ask for. But that would put us in LED lighting on that field. If we go with a Musco system again, they guarantee that for, I think it's 20 years. So if a light goes out or anything goes wrong, they come to fix it. And then that national fitness campaign, that was something the mayor and I got in the emails, and I checked with them before. From what I've seen of all the outdoor exercise station type things, I'm impressed with theirs more than any of the others. It would, if you were a beginner to a collegiate athlete, you could get a good workout on the court that they have, the way it's designed and how you go through it. So that's just something you might keep in the back of your mind. At some point, you may want to consider something like that. And then I had a maintenance foreman, because we've been successful with, the outdoor, especially the park maintenance. We have tournaments regularly. We're on the 4-day, 10-hour-a-day schedule for our park maintenance staff. So we've got 3 days a week that we don't have a supervisor working. And it would be a great help to have a foreman type position under the maintenance supervisor's position to oversee the work through the weekend. We host a lot of people through the weekend. I'm sure you all have driven through and seen the crowds that we have. It would be good to have someone in a supervisory position.
All right, thank you, Mike. Any questions for Ms. Austin? All right, if no questions, let's move to sports leagues. Is that, you handle that too?
Recreation Center is next, and it's like parks and athletics. The operations is pretty consistent there with last year's budget. Under capital, and it's highlighted the basketball goals. We've got 2 of the goals that are original to the building, 28 years ago, and then 2 that we're having some issues getting them to go up and down. This would give us basketball goals that are more usable. We have young children that play at 8 feet up to, most of the time they're at 10 feet, but there's 8, 9, and 10-foot goal settings according to the age of the children. The fitness equipment, the strength equipment upstairs is over 10 years old now. It is all still working, but with the age, it will begin to cause us some issues. So we asked for the full 60,000, and so 20,000 is what is being requested, and then do a 3-year plan where we switch it out over the course of 3 years. The aquatic stairs, the ones that we have, they're made out of fiberglass, and occasionally they have to be replaced. But they're a significant part of our ADA access, so we do need to replace those in the swimming pool. The shower partitions, that's an interesting one. They built the building, all the showers are gang showers in the men's and women's. I guess shortly after they opened up, they provided walls for the women in the gym side. And so this would give us partitions between in the men's side and the pool side. So at some point in time, that would be a nice addition to the shower facilities. The sign, if you notice, we took the sign down. The birds had pretty much started pulling the letters off the side of the building where they were nesting in there. So we've taken those off. We'd like to replace those at some point, get some kind of signage up on the building. And then the tennis court, we were able to replace all the bleachers several years ago, except 4 sets that are on the tennis courts. There are 2 sets that are the new style that have a walkway with a handrail, and the others are the old style where it's just 5-row bleacher without any steps or any handrails to help you get up and down. So it would be a good idea to replace those at some point. We do not have any of the old I-beam type bleachers with the wooden seats and wooden walkways anymore. But it would be good to replace those as well.
Any questions on the rec center? Sorry, I skipped over that right quick.
And then athletics, there is no capital with that one, and it's pretty much the same number on the operating budget as last year. And we are really fortunate to have the programming staff that we have. They got so much going on. Athletics, programming, senior adults, aquatics, they are all have a lot going on. It's really good.
Yeah, I noticed that calendar full the other day when I was out there.
It is full. I did the radio this morning and I had a stack. We have a lot going on this summer.
That's good. I'm glad that we've got it for the citizens. Okay, anything else? Any questions for Mike on that?
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mike.
Thank you. If I could just remind everybody to use your microphones, so that there's a couple of people out in the lobby listening to us, so make sure we use your microphones so they can hear you.
All right, Ms. Perry, our airport manager, and glad to have you here today.
Thank you.
Flying.
That would be nice.
All right. Paul, if you want to share anything with us, and then we'll ask for questions. We've had an opportunity to look over the budget that you asked for and some of the new things that are highlighted. But if you want to go over some of those things, please do that. Explain them quickly.
Will do. The increase that you see in the standing operating budget is for fuel cells. And which in turn, if you go back to the revenue side, we make money with the fuel that we purchase. We just have to put our budget a little high because we never know what the fluctuation in the fuel market's going to be, especially as most everybody sees now when you're trying to budget something that's more than a year in advance what we're going to do to purchase. But we've also had an increase in traffic counts on fuel cells too, so we have to look ahead for that. So that's the biggest change you see in the standing operational budget for the most part is increase in fuel cells. What you see over on our capital, most everything you see are existing projects that are already out there that are being moved. They're underway and that are being wrapped up or trying to finish up, moving on to the next FY. Some of those that are down past that, of course, it sounds like a theme, but skid steer for us as well. And you see that on there. That is another scenario where we've been able to borrow on occasions one from Public Works, but they're needing to replace theirs as well, and it can't do what we need to do. We need something with more teeth, if you want to say, that can do some, because we really don't have much topsoil out there. So we work with what we can do. And one of the issues that we have there at the airport is constantly having to bring in dirt and fill material around light fixtures and around runway edge and things of that nature, because you have certain requirements that are set aside by the federal government and state government for that we have to adhere to for safety areas. And so we have to make sure we have the proper fill material. And so it's a constant. You either, if you trim too much grass or you kill the grass around it, then it washes away, or you risk having grass grow up and you can't see. So it's a balancing act there. So that's something that's just a constant maintenance issue that skid steer would work to our benefit to be able to work more efficiently out there across the 600 acres that we take care of out there.
Any questions for Paul?
Yep. Tell me about this 1.5 acres for $75,000.
That is for that piece that's about an acre and a half, or actually like 1.4 acres at the back of the feed store behind there. We worked with the property owner, thought things were going well, then they stopped communicating with us. So it's still open, still out there. Provided every time I talk with them and they ask for a piece of information or something like that, give them the information, and then we don't hear from them. So I have not been able to. One issue is the feed store itself is owned by a company that we were having to work with out of Bowling Green, Kentucky. So it's not like I can really knock on the door and, do a face-to-face with them and shake hands and make it happen. For some reason, they just are not willing to close the deal. I don't know what the
Hold this
situation.
up like everybody else does. Is this piece of property appraised?
Yes,
What's it appraised?
it was appraised at $75,000. That's the appraised value at the time of the appraisal.
Okay.
Okay. One more question.
Okay.
Down here in your personnel request, you're gonna give the people some raises. If we grant the city a raise, what about these people right here? You gonna turn around and give them some more?
That's what I was hoping for. Yes, sir.
So they gonna come out as pretty good then. if we give them a raise.
Yeah, yes.
But they're gonna get that regardless.
That's what my hope was, but of course,
Right.
it's all based on what you, one of the things that's been brought up to more than once by others is the fact of, low wage on our operations crew that are dealing with aircraft that are multi-million-dollar airplanes and needing the training that's required and the education that's required to deal with that. I mean, it's sort of hard to justify paying somebody a small amount to deal with something of that magnitude.
Right.
And on the property, you really don't know if you're gonna get it or not. You just put the money, put it in the budget. You'll have the money in paper.
It's because it's been approved for quite some time and it's gone through the council and been
We're
approved.
just waiting.
So we're just,
people, Scott.
yes, sir, just so that way if I can jump on it as quick as it possibly, if I can ever get anything from them that gives me any proper education, I don't want to hesitate.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bob. Anyone else have any questions? Mr. Curry? Okay. I guess we're good.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. All right, who handles rehab? Who can take that?
I've been in rehab. I'm on work release right now. Really, there's nothing in the budget for this year. This is just a section that we've used in the past for the home grant, the downtown grant, things like that. But I put it in here because it had some audited numbers in that column. But I can't remember if I forwarded this to the council, but we did not get the home grant that we had applied for recently. So really, there's nothing to appropriate in this section, but I still put it in the budget because it took those audited numbers to make all my other numbers add up. So it's zero.
Grant's really been good, solid grant and all of those things. Any questions for our treasurer, Mr. Parker, on that? All right, transfers, is that something you take care of for us too, Kay?
I'll be glad to. This is just, if you recall back on the general fund summary, the transfers are kind of listed out. And this is just a section there in, that 5,255,000 is explained on the, second page of the general fund summary. That's, for the flood pump related items.
Right.
And other capital items, and then the 750 is what we were gonna transfer to the state road projects fund when we had the Fairfield Pike overlook, et cetera. Proprietary fund, that's the remainder of the 400,000 that we need to give to Shelbyville sewer system for the, site development grant, that's Arch Chapel pumping station. And then we typically just move 100,000 to debt reserve where we just hold it as we need it. Would this be appropriate time to bring up the other transfers with? Okay. I don't want to talk too much, but since we're talking about transfers, I was gonna bring this up. I handed this out today, if y'all saw it. And this is strictly an option, because obviously we put in the budget what y'all want in the budget. But I had heard, a few people mention about maybe more money for paving.
Yes.
And, so I was thinking about this last night. You know, we have enough fund balance in the general fund. If the council so chose, we could move, say, 500,000 from the general fund balance to State Street aid to increase our paving funds. Now, one thing I wanted to double check, and I called our MTAS financial consultant on the way to work today. I didn't want to get in a situation where it was any kind of maintenance of effort, and if we do it one time, then you're locked into doing it for eternity. And it's not. I mean, the council can choose each year what you want to. Typically, that fund has kind of stood on its own and you just fund paving with gas tax. But I know from that report we had done or study, our roads are kind of in need of some extra maybe. So that fund would need supplemental funds from somewhere to be able to do more paving. So if the council wanted to, I just showed you what the numbers would look like if you move, say, 500,000, but it can be any number you choose.
Right.
If you went this route, instead, last year we had paving of 600,000, this would mean this next year we'd have 1.1 billion. only an option. I don't know if that made any sense, but, and if you chose to do that, what I'm trying to say is this page would have another line called transfer to State Street Aid with whatever number y'all wanted to move over there to add to paving, so.
Okay.
That's why I brought it up at this point.
But we've added 100,000
We did,
from last year to this.
it went from 600 to 700.
700, right.
And now this is showing if we move 500, we would add 4 more hundred down here, and I was adding 100,000 to fund balance. So you're exactly right. It was already in there for 700,000, and it can stay at that. I'm not saying I'm just showing this as an option
Right.
if you wanted more payment. But you're exactly right. It was the first proposed budget was added 100,000 to go to 700. This is adding another 400.
And we'd look really pretty, according to Buck, I think, if we had that 1 million or over. Really pretty.
Yeah, one thing, go ahead.
Well, one thing, of course, we've heard from every single one of y'all, the paving needs. Because you all are hearing it from your constituents every day. And in that report that was done, just to try to maintain, they recommended it, but may need to correct me, but they recommended a minimum of 1.2 per year just to hold even. And if we want to ever get ahead, the number was higher. But Kay and I and Buck, we all spoke, and we understand the pressure you all are feeling. So any way we can try to creep that number up when it doesn't hurt the overall bottom line too much would be beneficial to all involved.
And it may be money well spent because the paving costs are going up every year. And so if you get it in this budget, get it done and do that transfer, it might pay for itself, probably a lot better than having that money on interest.
But just by putting the money there, does that require more, equipment, personnel? What comes along with that? No?
I think the outside company does it.
Yeah, that's correct. I think it's a good idea, we'll see. All right, thank you for that on transfers. The next item would be nonprofits, or that wiped out, it looks like to me.
Yeah.
Grayed out. Special funds, page 1, cable TV, page 2, budget reserve, page 3, debt reserve. Okay?
Cable TV is where, we had the grant of 30,000. We spent some to kind of do some equipment in here and so forth. I think Kay, was part of his budget request. We put in 3,500 for next year in case we needed maybe a camera and something.
Right, anything breaks.
Okay, in case anything breaks. So we just budgeted a minimal amount of 3,500.
Mhm.
And even if we spend that, we're ending at 10,500 next year. Budget reserve, this is where, when I came back to the city, they were kind of just keeping around 500,000 in a quote budget reserve.
Right.
For audit purposes, it's part of general fund, but we've kind of got it pulled out for emergency type situations. So it's just what it sounds like, it's a reserve. If we ever need to pull from it. And, debt reserve is kind of the same thing. So we've got about 682,000 projected to be there next year. Of course, our debt has really gone down, so that doesn't fully cover it, but we've nearly got as much saved as we owe in debt
Right.
at this point.
Okay.
Or earmarked for that. And then Jan, the other two, 705, 706, Jan reviewed with us last week. The police funds there.
Right. Okay, any questions for Kay on that? Okay, the police fund, drug fund, that was the next 2 pages there, and anybody have any questions on that? That's kind of taking care of itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Chief? Okay. Chief Phillips is in the back there. Let it happen. Okay, all right. The next item is, if you have no questions, Industrial Development Fund. And, Scott or Kay, whichever one will take care of that.
Okay, this is this is another one I just kind of put in here, but there's nothing budgeted for revenues or expenditures. I'm hoping we set up a separate entity. I'm hoping all that's gonna be closed out by June 30 this year. All we lack is some final legal fees.
Okay.
And so I didn't budget anything.
That's on the 231 North.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
And it'll be closed out, I believe, sunsetted out sometime this year.
So really, there's nothing to approve per se. I don't have anything for appropriations.
Okay. Did we have any change on that? That last 26 acres, I had heard there might be some changes there. Is that 231 North Board still closed out? Is that still going to the person that, or the organization that we had?
I've not been notified
Not-
of any
okay.
updates.
All right.
He give it away to their screen. That what you're talking about, the very end piece, kind of.
Right,
For the 26.
That free much, that's free property.
okay. All right, thank you. All right, the next item would be Hotel Motel Fund. Am I following correctly? A State Street Aid Fund I've got next in my large book here. Man,
But talked about it.
the other day, okay?
Yeah.
What I was thinking, it was already covered, okay? Thank you, Lisa. All right, Hotel Motel Fund, Kay? You're the one with all the dollars.
Mayor will,
Okay,
we'll go back and forth with this.
thank you, Scott.
But, of course, the top part, you see the revenue projections, and revenues are coming in strong for the hotel motel occupancy tax fund. And then the professional services and partnership and incentives, that's all been zeroed out. But when you get down to tourism, you have professional services, and you're still going to have, the wayfinding project. That's what addresses most of this.
Right.
And we feel that a lot of the professional services, after they came in and met with us, that a lot of that will go to start the signage projects.
Okay.
So,
Are we gonna get started pretty quick on that Riverview District project?
Well, it's dependent on
The properties?
council. Yes, we have the information and we're waiting and hoping to move forward. The project will be shifting somewhat,
Okay,
with the focus being on the properties and also the underground utilities and the repaving and stormwater.
okay,
And then the rest of it, we will work. In other words, we want to give concrete evidence of the money being spent and try to do a lot more in-house as far as design, using the expertise of both our staff and volunteers in the community.
okay. All right. Any questions on that?
so where does the retail strategies come in? What is that under?
Yes, retail strategies has already been paid in this fiscal year, so we will not have anything moving forward in 24-25. Unless, of course, down the road, we re-up for another year of advisory, but we still got a long way to go with them.
Does the signs coming into the city fall under, would you fall under tourism or something? What would you put that under? The signs, our city limits now go past where some of the signs are coming into the city. I'm talking about those old rock and wood or signs that we've got. Where does that fall into our category there?
They are plans to, between the 75,000, then you'll see in
Okay.
342 signs and banners, there's
Okay.
another 60,000. Plus, as far as the city limit signs, I hope to steal some money from Buck's budget.
Okay.
I second that.
And that response would be, oh, gee, thanks. All right, any questions, any other questions on that, on the
Okay, so
hotel motel fund?
We're gonna take off the chamber will come on for both years. I mean, we had last year's, which is this year fiscal, and then you got it for next, the one coming out, so.
That is somewhat of a placeholder, Captain, because we still have not received a response yet.
Oh.
And we hope that we can, as long as the chamber come back together. But if not, we'll shift that money wherever it's needed.
Okay.
Yeah, because I won't spend it until things are worked out.
Okay. All right, thank you, Scott and Kay. All right, the next item I have, there's no other, are there any other questions on that? Okay, no other questions, capital projects fund. Kay, I guess?
I can start, but, the tab that's capital projects fund is the fund itself. It's divided by departments.
Right,
And obviously the proposed budget's over there on the right.
yes,
The capital detail tab was probably one we need to kind of go down, because, you know, currently what's in the capital projects is what's yellow, but with full understanding that the council may want to unyellow something or yellow something else.
mhm,
So, we may just want to go to the detail section.
Yes.
right,
And maybe get some thumbs up,
Yeah,
thumbs
let's do that,
down, or
yeah.
something like that.
yeah,
So I kind of know what to do on those.
yeah, I think that's where we're.
I know we can't officially vote, but
We're gonna head, I'm glad to go ahead and go to that now.
and in the very, excuse me, Scott pointed out something, a good thing. Right behind the detail shows the capital purchases and projects for the, approximately the past 6 years. So if y'all, I don't know if y'all put yours there, but I handed it out last time. I'm not sure where y'all put it in your notebook, but in case you need to reference,
It was in that,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
it's about a 6 or 7 page document,
Right,
Together that she gave out last
right.
week.
Mhm.
just in case y'all need that as important reference. Yes.
Okay, I think the way we're gonna handle this, go ahead, Scott.
With your permission, if any directors want to leave, feel free to, because now it's simply capital and closeout. Whatever y'all want to do.
They're gonna wanna know what they're getting.
Well, leave $20 in your seat.
We were wanting to talk about y'all, so y'all need to, yeah. It's not like it's being televised or anything.
All right, I think, and I've talked to Scott, talked to, Kay a little bit, and Lisa, you may help us along on this. We want to go through each one of these highlighted items, the highlighted ones, and kind of get a yes or a no on that. The ones that are not highlighted, I don't think we want to deal with, do we?
Well,
That's up to
if they're
y'all.
not highlighted,
Uh,
I'm sorry, I don't mean to speak out of turn. If they're not highlighted, but enough of the council want to add that, then we
That's right.
kind of need
That's
to
right.
check to see. Yes.
But I wanted to run through the highlighted portion first and just see what we need to do on that before we added anything. Do you agree?
I go through all of
Just
them.
start at the top and go
Yeah.
down.
Go down.
And I could just mark it.
How do you want that, Mayor? You want thumbs up, thumbs down, do you want yes or no? How do you
About a
want that?
hand raise,
Hand
Okay,
raise?
yeah,
hand
Okay.
raise, everybody in favor of.
okay. All right, let's go to the first item
It's
there on
behind
the
the
capital,
capital detail behind that.
capital request. Last,
Some of it did, they request, I mean,
This is all just capital, it's not personnel. We'll have to do it separate.
we decided to go through
Oh,
one at a
okay.
time.
All the capital they asked for is right here, but
Oh, okay.
we'll still have to talk about personnel.
that's why you need to smart.
I know.
All
I
right,
just have a big mouth.
the highlighted items, we're not even going to discuss the ones that are not highlighted, okay? We can add those later if we need to. Let's go
We
highlight.
are gonna discuss.
Uh,
We're gonna just go straight down the line.
That's right, straight down the list.
Discuss every one of them.
Okay,
Yeah,
codes,
discuss them
a
all.
$35,000 2026 Maverick truck. let's see a set of hands if you want to purchase that truck. If you don't, keep your hand down.
1, 2,
One, two,
3,
three,
4,
four, five.
5, 6.
Okay,
Okay, all right.
thank you. Lisa's taking notes on that. Okay, all right, the next item goes to general government.
No.
No, we're gonna do every one.
Huh?
They want to do every one of them, so.
Oh, you want to do the ones that's not highlighted to you?
And let them vote on them.
Yeah.
so.
keep it
Okay.
down to
All right,
highlights
folks.
is Simply,
All right.
I'm engaged working with the directors. So, that's just our recommendation, but we wanted council to give us direction on everything that was requested.
My recommendation would be to just go to the highlighted, because that's already in the approved budget, right? Unless we take it out,
It's in the proposed budget, yes,
unless we take it out.
correct.
And then go back if we wanted to add something. That would be my opinion, but if you want to go through every one of them, we will. What do you want to do? Everybody go through every one of them?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, all right, information technology, IT, $65,000 Ram pickup truck. All in favor of getting that?
That's a not in favor. Anybody? Nobody? Okay.
Okay. All right, $41,000 drone.
One,
What?
the drone.
The drone.
Henry says 1, 2. Anybody else? Nobody else? Okay.
Is that one that we could basically pay for itself in the 2-year period from what we're contracting out for the flume?
Yeah.
Only by using it just twice a year?
That's correct.
I had a question about that though. Once we're all pretty there at the balloon and the pumps, the pipes and whatever, I have no idea what all that means. But once all of that is in place, does the drone continue, do you continue to have someone to go through there?
Yeah, it won't, we're not replacing the whole flume, so
You still
there's,
have to,
there's
That's
a
right.
lot of sections that are,
You know, I watched that thing being
All
put
we're doing
together
is
twice.
right now, yeah.
I watched it being put together twice. And they come in sections, the sections are bolted together. And there's only one company in the country that makes those pipes. There's only one company in the country that installs those pipes, which means we need to look at an alternative to do something. But I don't see we're taking that drone down there at $21,000 through the way those pipes are put together, bolted together, that there's much you can do to repair anything as far as preventive maintenance goes.
the one thing that it does do is if it's under the road, we can get traffic off it, keep anybody from driving into it if it does collapse. It's more about a health and human safety issue of checking that.
Well, if it collapses, you know you won't be going over.
What's that? Well,
You won't
yeah,
go
but
back the road with
if
it.
we know it's about to collapse, we can shut it down so nobody gets hurt, you know?
And we hope going forward in the plans that are the incipient plans with the exit of the flume that's already been identified, that's the levee that needs to be addressed first. We don't want, and we're exploring options to be able to fix it in place with a different technology than that galvanized metal that's on there. So we hope and pray that we're not doing a lot of digging and major disruptions now. So that is why the plume, either way, will have to be monitored constantly. I mean, because if we started working on it with big money today, it would be probably a decade to get it completed. But having the best case or the best information for y'all to make a decision on which sections need to be repaired first and do it in incremental repairs versus a catastrophic collapse and everything comes to a standstill, then you have to do it. Then, like you said, Mr. Williams, then you're at the mercy of one or two people.
And I've been saying for years, the last two collapses, that with only one company that provides this material, only one company that installs it, we really, with modern technology, need to look for an alternative way.
And that's what
to
we've
fix
been
the
doing.
flume,
That's what
to
we've
fix-
been doing. And that's
either
what we,
concrete it all up and
We would love,
put,
if we have sections that we're gonna start replacing, we would love to replace those with concrete.
either a grate over it or whatever.
Repair or replace. that way, you know, you get another 100 years out of it.
Right.
You know, instead of a 50-year lifespan and everything, if we have issues that come about, right now with what Matt's saying, with the round pipe that comes in underneath the levee and everything else, yeah, we kind of got to do something inside there. You can't dig all that up. But in other sections, I think as we build for it, we look for change now because there is only one that can come in and redo it.
We don't like the medium we're currently tied to.
No, I don't
We
blame
want to
you.
do everything possible.
Okay, right now, I think that our flood pumps are the main thing, and we haven't gotten those yet. We've got them designed and ordered and all those kind of things. As far as the drone goes, we're paying $21,000 every year. Is
Yeah.
that correct?
Yeah, we
Does
haven't
that
been able
include-
to, we haven't been able to in this budget year because of the rain.
Right.
It's full of water right now, and we don't want anybody to be down in there when it's unsafe.
Okay.
The company that comes and does it, they do it on foot. This would take away, if you guys ever want to walk through the flume, let me know. Walking through it, it's very slick.
Right.
It's very dark.
Right.
You know, and it's uneven footing all the way through there. So walking through it, you don't see everything that you need to see. You're kind of, trying to save your own
And do
life.
they do the engineering also, Buck? In other words, if they go through and do this, we pay $21,000. Do they give the engineering on what sections might need work?
That would go to Will, and what he would do is take the data that LiDAR would give, and
Okay.
what we've been doing now, it goes there and it'll show like a deformation here or there, and we compare deformation to deformation
Okay.
to see if it's gotten any worse.
So that data, I know where you're going with that, Mayor, because I know that's been brought up since the last meeting. The data is not engineered by the LiDAR contract.
Okay.
They're simply providing us with the information that they collected during that survey, and then Will reviews it.
So we have to pay Will besides
That's part of
paying
what,
that-
yeah, part of what he does.
that 21,000.
So if we did have the ability to do it in-house, it's not gonna add an extra engineering fee. It's something, it would be the same thing that we're doing. We're already reviewing it with city staff.
Okay. All right. Thank you for all the comments. Now, I had gotten 4 no votes and 2 yes votes on that. Okay.
Anybody want to change your vote or their hand held up?
Is there a drone that's capable of doing that, that's less expensive than more than $1,000?
That would be Kate.
The LiDAR head alone is around $28,000 to $30,000 on the cheap end. Then you have to have a drone that can carry a LiDAR head, which is significantly heavier than you see a lot of people with little baby drones they use for cameras and stuff. The LiDAR head is bigger than that drone by itself, so that's why you have that larger drone to carry.
I think I'm sorry, I'm not trying to stick out there, just to inform everyone. The drone itself, the cost of the drone is including the night vision and the FLIR technology, head, that equipment, and then you can take that off and attach the LiDAR equipment. So that 41,000 is not just for the drone, it's for the equipment that attaches to that drone.
But it does not include the insurance.
No, it would be insured it'd be insured along with our other equipment, yeah, it would. And I don't know, I couldn't tell you what the added cost would be, because our insurance is
Yeah, I think some more research needs to be done.
comprehensive policy that covers all the equipment of the city.
Anyone need to change their vote, or it's not approved at this moment? Anyone need to change their vote? All right, let's go to the next item. Rollover on the city hall roof. Approved?
Do we need to vote on rollovers? They're already in the budget from last year. I guess we can take them out if you want to. Okay, rollover on the city hall budget, on the city hall roof.
Okay,
Okay,
that's approved. All right, rollover on the city hall improvements.
okay. 6.
Got hands raised on that?
I got
City
6.
hall improvement?
I got 6.
Okay, already approved, okay. Make sure that Lisa gets the message. $30,000 on the bathroom renovations outside the south end of the rec center, ADA, to make those ADA, I guess.
2, 3, 4, 5. Is Christie? No.
Okay,
Okay.
Got approved, Lisa?
Let me butt in 1 second on that. I guess I put that under general government because it was ADA, but really I want to move that in the final budget to rec center. Because it's at the rec center. So I don't know what I was thinking there, but, I mean, I'll have it in there, but I'm gonna move it to rec center.
I think what that was, Kay, is that we had that general amount every year for an ADA project, to kind of have an ADA project every year. And sometimes it's at the rec center, sometimes it's at City Hall. I think that's how come it got in there to begin with.
Okay, all right, the 325 for the bathroom concessions on the upper and lower fields, ADA, that would be, Mike, tell us what field's that? Is that your ball field?
Right, those are the two small baseball fields.
Okay.
That concession stand restroom is too narrow to make those ADA.
Okay,
We cannot make those accessible. So that building will have to be replaced at some point in order to make that accessible. Those fields in the master plan are scheduled to remain. So it would, at some point, the city will need to improve that so that it is accessible, because those two fields will remain.
it's something we've got to do right now?
Just,
Is it not? Okay. All right, it's not something we have to do right now. I see the city manager shaking his head. The folks, if you want to approve that or not approve it? If you want to approve it, stick your hands up. Okay? All right, not approved right now. Okay, the Riverview District, $500,000. Tell us, Scott, plus $250,000 included in the hotel motel fund?
Yes, sir. We believe this is a great investment opportunity with the huge influx of money that has been put both in the Glass Hollow project as well as the Brownstone Cowboy.
Right.
We believe that this is making a destination to the entire square and the entire city. Just do as the square was when you all had the vision previously to do the underground utilities and all that to make our square look good. This would just be an extension of it. And we do know that there will be a concert areas, concert series, and a lot of tourism activities that will transform that area once both projects are completed.
Okay, okay. So is that including that property we're looking at right now? That's part of it? Okay. And Mr. John D. Bobo was helping us on that,
Yes, sir.
contacting the families that own those pieces of property. That's past the Challenger building. Everybody know that? Right past, okay. All right. Do we want to do that? Hands up if you do.
What happened to the group that actually brought the models in? They were showing us models of how it was to look. Who were they?
Studio 8. And we're still having conversations with them, but the next phase is going to cost more money for design and construction documents. So we're wanting to have further conversations with them to try and save as much money as possible before we bring a presentation back to the mayor and city council.
Where were they out of?
Franklin?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's right. Okay, do we want to approve that? If you do, stick your hand up.
1, 2, 3,
Does that include the overlook?
4.
No, separate projects, totally separate projects.
I got
Gary's hands
5.
up. Okay, all right. Okay, approved. Okay, the next item is the flood pump purchase balance. That's about $3 million. We've taken that out of ARP funds. Want to get those flood pumps replaced.
Looks like across the board right there.
And I'll just mention, so I don't mislead you on that, if the parentheses over there, I thought we were gonna pay 15% in this year's budget. It doesn't look like that's gonna happen, so really it's $1,830,000 for the pumps, plus like 1.2 for installation. Plus, keep in mind, there may be another 2 or 3 million for installation, but it would be the year after that.
Right.
We won't know that until we take bids.
We need that to,
So this is not the end of it, there's still more to come. It's, yeah.
not only for the protection of floods, to help the fire department, I'd have to go out there on the concrete. Gotta get that done. All right, thank you for that. Police department, we've got, $357,300 for 6 vehicles, including the equipment. Okay, we've got 1, 2,
3, 4, 5.
okay, that's approved. Okay, new phone system, that's for the police department, correct?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, all right, that's approved also. Wish we had a new building to put that phone system in. Don't you, chief? All right, streets, $121,000 tractor with a side mount mower.
1, 2, 2.
Okay, that's not approved right now, right? Is that what you're getting, Lisa?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, a $100,000 Bobcat track loader.
1, 2, 3.
3.
Okay, Mayor, you've got to break the tie.
Sir?
You need to break the tie, sir. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see.
4.
I apologize.
Have we got 4?
Yeah.
Okay, that's approved.
Is this the track loader that everybody seems to be borrowing from the cemetery, the airport? Everybody just they talked about like having even more than this one.
Yes.
Okay, next item is a $70,000, 2024 F-250 with a snowplow.
Nobody.
For that one big snow again.
Okay, all right, so that's not approved, right? I didn't see any hands up, right? Okay, I guess we're gonna have to get more snow.
Well, don't call me when it snows.
Oh, come on, Buck. $40,000 4-ton asphalt recycler and hot box trailer.
1,
Can you refresh my memory? I don't remember us talking about this when you were.
It wasn't highlighted, so we didn't talk about it, but now that we're going through the ones that aren't highlighted, this is, if you see the state that goes through when they fill in their patches and everything, that's what they do. So if you're able to put hot mix back into a pothole, you get a longer lifespan of that patch.
Does it help? Do we have is it like a mini paver almost type of thing?
No, you kinda, keeps your material hot while you're spreading it out. You still have to do all your,
And that would be used all the time, wouldn't it, Buck?
yeah, it wouldn't be, just spring or summer or when it snowed. It would be all the time.
Okay. All right.
Sounds like if we're not gonna spend millions of dollars repaving the streets, we need some way to
Yeah, that's,
seriously fix some of them.
that's potholes, that would
Yeah, but we
be,
can't do both. We don't need to put in an extra $400,000 and then purchase this.
But according to our study, we need millions every year for a couple of years, not just 500,000 or 600,000.
okay. All right, yes, sir,
If
Scott.
I may make a comment.
All right.
Several of y'all have seen the repairs that's been going on South of Red Street. And I was out there one day when T-Dot was doing the repair, and the guy just started talking to me about the hot box because I didn't fully understand the benefits of it.
Right.
But he did explain how
So much better.
the repairs that we make, which I don't, if y'all were to approve 5 million for paving, we still have significant repairs to make. But they last so much longer than co-mix.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
just a point of information.
All right, can we have a vote on that? We kind of know what we're talking about, okay?
1,
1,
2,
2,
3, 4.
Okay. That's approved. Got you one, Buck.
Yes, sir.
All right, 95,000 for a 2024 F. I think that's a 350, right? It says a F-2350
Yeah,
on
it's
my,
supposed to be F-350.
yeah, okay. 4x4, 1 ton with a snowplow.
The snowplow.
No? Okay, not approved. Uh-oh, well. All right, solid waste. Well, that's a big job, isn't it, Bub? $142,210 for rollover for a 2024 International Road Tractor.
Four.
Yes.
Okay, that's approved. Okay, all right, the $400,000 automated side loader with a 31-yard garbage truck. That's the one-armed garbage truck, correct?
Yes, yeah, that'll be a tandem.
Okay,
1, 2, 3, 4.
okay, good, that's approved. All right. $190,000 8-yard rear load garbage truck mini packer. That's a smaller.
Yeah, that's the one that gets like around the square and all the tight spots.
Okay. Okay.
They do have one on the lot, just so you guys know.
How many of those we have now? Just one?
We have one and one old one. The old one, we kind of like for the celebration. I don't know if I said 5 minutes, but for the celebration, we kind of use that in areas and not clean up.
Okay. All right, let's have a vote on that. Hands up, please, if you,
No.
okay, not approved, okay. All right. All right, the next item is a $1.4 million track brush grinder.
That's
Hands
so
up.
you can dispose of trees with leaves.
First state required.
But in operations, there's been 90,000 added to contract somebody to come in and grind everything up.
Okay.
So 90,000 versus 1.4 million.
I just think.
90,000 a year?
Yes, sir.
I have one question. This is something, an ignorant question, but when they come and grind it, or is that stuff gonna be left on our property or they take it with them?
They're taking it with them.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, so.
so that's a twofold thing when they're doing that. Okay, do we have any hands up on that? Okay. Not approved,
I
okay.
was wanting 2 of them.
Okay,
I'm sorry, I just think it's hilarious when they say we can't burn leaves. I mean, that's just.
I think you could if you were a half mile away from a house or something.
I get many calls about people taking trash to the burn center and tell them, and the guy out there telling you ain't trying to leave that here.
Oh.
Anything I don't think I learned how to lie.
all right, let's move forward. $5,800 tire changer. Is that for like the big trucks?
Yeah, yeah.
3, 4, go.
Okay, that's approved.
Mayor, sir, before we move
Yep.
off of
Uh-huh,
street solid waste and questions for Buck, Kate and I was talking among ourselves. You all did approve the Bobcat track load, but he's also made it a major priority. It was his number one priority for the tractor side mount mower. And Buck, if you had to choose between the two, what would be your thought?
The track loader and that,
Between the Bobcat track loader and the tractor with side mount mower? And I'm sorry, but they're very close in price and they're both top priorities and I just want to get his
you know,
opinion.
they both do something different. And the reason why, the tractor that we have right now, we have an old Tiger tractor that has a boom mower on it. And if you get the boom over and you're on any kind of incline or something like that, it wants to pull the tractor over with you. This here with the side mounted mower was gonna keep my operators safer. So from a safety aspect, and we still have to mow, we mow 40 miles within the city with the brush hogs. So to keep my operator safety, I would go with the tractor for now. I need the track loader, but I gotta look out for the guys that are on the tractor.
okay, so the one we approved, the 142,201, that's approved, that's the one you'd rather have, correct?
Under streets.
We ain't got there yet.
My apologies, Mayor, for the confusion.
The
This-
streets, the 200 streets.
Yeah, the tractor with side mount mower, was not approved.
Right, he's gonna hit the next.
The rollover 2024 was approved, correct?
Yeah, but what they're talking about are the two right up under streets, the 121 tractor and the $100,000 Bobcat track load.
Uh-huh.
Which he'd rather have the tractor than the track
Oh,
loader.
okay.
And it's
The-
just $21,000.
Okay, those two, the skid thing,
Yeah.
okay,
So
okay.
he would rather y'all approve the tractor than the track loader for the safety of his employees.
All right, we've already voted on that, but do we need to go back to it?
Is everybody okay with swapping them out?
All right, do you wanna go back and we'll disapprove the Bobcat track loader? And then approve that'll be $21,000 difference, that tractor with a side mount mower. What do you wanna do?
You're okay with swapping them out? Okay. Everybody else? Okay. Yeah, they're good.
Is that what we did? Okay, let me correct my records here. For sure, I know you're getting them. All right, that one will be approved and this is not. Okay, thank you, Buck, for that clarification.
Thank you.
Okay, stormwater management, they're asking for $35,000 for, Ford Maverick all-wheel drive Super Crew truck. Okay? Any hands on that?
1, 2, 3.
4? Okay, that's approved. Is that replacing a truck or,
Yeah, yes, it is.
okay?
It's
all right.
something smaller to get around when they go out and do inspections and stuff. Even a half ton's a little bit big in some respects.
Okay,
That's replacing a 2006.
okay, all right, thank you, Buck. Animal control, $20,000 for a used work truck.
Now,
One,
some of
two.
these trucks,
I'm sorry?
some of these trucks can be looked at to see if they can be used
Exactly.
in the operation of that.
Can that truck, if we're replacing, are we replacing one for that, stormwater? And will that truck be available that they could use
We
an
can
animal
always
control?
do that. We'll make it, anything that we are surplusing, Lori will ask all the other departments if
Yeah.
they need to look at it.
Okay.
Usually if
Vehicles and they gotta be going somewhere, and someone can use
Okay.
them.
Usually if we're getting rid of it, it's because it's
Good question.
not anything that can keep going forward for us, but somebody else would find use in it, I agree.
Yeah,
Maybe the animal control can.
okay. Is that okay with everybody? So the used work truck, we're just gonna wait on that and, see if we can pass one down? Is that what we're gonna do? Or do y'all wanna approve that now, that $20,000
I think
for
to go
that?
pay 20 grand for a used truck from whoever you gonna get it from. You know, you may be buying you another.
Well, I just know we have a truck somewhere.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, surely to God, all the truck running up down the street, maybe one of them to be fast.
So that item for right now is not approved, right?
Sit down there and let the stick man fix it up.
Is that, what'd you say, William?
They're gonna have another animal control person, so I'll vote for a truck.
You vote for the truck, you vote for the truck, you vote for the truck.
Wait a minute,
Three.
what? Wait a minute.
They have a part-time animal control. Okay.
Right.
And if we can use one of the others, fine.
We're talking
Yeah.
about.
Go- In other words, go ahead and prove it, but if we use one or the other, okay, all right.
Okay.
Is that acceptable to everybody?
Surplus.
Deputy chief's not here, but he's in charge of animal control, but that would be,
Budgeted, but
Okay.
not in the
We
general.
don't have a part-time now, we put in for a full-time, you know, and this truck would.
okay, all right, so that's approved.
Okay.
All right, let's go to the next item here. Cemetery, $7,000 for a new 2.5 ton AC unit. Is that to replace one?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's approved. It looks like we got enough hands on that.
4, 5, I got you.
Okay. Okay, $76,000 for a Bobcat track loader for the cemetery.
1, 2, 3,
Okay,
4, 5. Okay.
okay, that's approved. All right, security cameras, $11,000.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, approved. All right, $80,000 for a 2024 Ford Crew Cab 4x4 with a dump bed.
1, 2. Okay.
Okay, not approved?
No, I didn't get it.
Okay, all right.
I talked to Ben, happened to be at the cemetery the other day. If we give him this truck, he's got a Super Cab F-150 with only 20,000 miles that he can give back to the city.
it would be a good,
Be a good animal.
it would be a good.
Yeah, it'd be a great animal.
All you gotta do is ask questions.
Yeah. And we may have one coming from the other
That
place.
20,000-mile truck would last. It's
But for
wide.
right now, we've not approved
You
this.
have not approved that.
Yeah, okay. But if we can do something like that, that'll be good. All right, $35,000 for paving, and the requested 50,000, but the that's for the cemetery, yeah. Okay,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
approved. All right, and stone and gravel, $5,000 for the cemetery.
2,
Okay,
3.
approved. Okay, parks, $35,000 for a rollover healthy built grant.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
That's something that's already,
That's,
it's already approved.
It's already approved.
It's just money in and out.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, all right, we'll put that down as that. All right, the $7 million park expansion, phase 1 soccer complex. We've applied for the grant, but we don't know how much money and all those kind of things like that. And also with the issue with the sales tax, that would give us some money. We just don't know right now, right? So would you recommend Scott approve or disapprove right now? Okay, not approved.
No offense, Mike.
Is that okay with everybody? Is everybody on board with that, the 6 council people?
I think actually, when we were going through that, it was suggested that the county help us.
Yeah.
So we don't.
Yeah.
We might not want to count them.
Yeah. All right, not approved, okay. All right, $126,000 for the rail trade survey. Am I going too fast for anybody?
No.
No.
Okay, all right. Rail trail survey, rail banking and cleanup. We got 1, 2, please stick your hand up as high as you can so we'll know. 3,
1, 2, 3.
4.
I think we need to do that.
Is the railroad gonna have, if we do this deal, they were talking about the railroad, glad for us to take it, they gonna put you in money?
No,
Huh?
They don't have it.
they just want to get rid of it. They want somebody to take care of
No,
it.
no,
They
no,
just give it away, they supposed to take it.
Us to spend
Look,
the money.
Hey, they don't have money to keep it up,
Right.
my understanding.
Okay. $225,000 for H. Griffin Park paving, road and parking lots. Mike shared with us on that a while ago. Do I have hands on that?
See nobody.
No, not approved at this moment. Sorry, Mike, you'll have to wait a little longer. Well, you will have to wait, Mike.
Come back next year.
Mike said you ain't giving him that.
I gonna walk out that door and take it budget book, over there, and just keep walking.
$1.5 million rail trail development, Madison Street to Tyson plant, and apply for the grant. Any hands on that? Yes?
Like the idea of applying for a grant.
Okay. Okay, not approved for right now. Okay, all right, a $55,000 3/4 ton pickup truck, extended cab for the parks. Replacing a 2005 model. A lot of miles on it, right, Mike?
Won't see nobody.
We see any hands on that? Okay. All right, not approved. Okay. Okay, $25,000 mower, diesel, 72-inch deck, replacing a 2008 model.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, we're good? Okay. All right, $275,000.
Somebody going off.
What?
I'll look, Scott.
What we got?
Somebody.
Oh, fixing to get back down there.
That's the call. It's yours.
Come on, Paul.
That cost you $10,000.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. $275,000 big, I had the mower is approved, right?
Yeah.
$275,000 big Babe Ruth field lighting.
One, only one.
Okay, not approved. Okay, again, hopefully we're gonna get some funds. We'll see how this thing works out. $220,000 Nashville Fitness campaign?
No.
No? Okay. All right. Rec Center, $40,000 for basketball goals, 4 that can be operated electronically.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Do they have to be electronically? How much would that take off of the price?
They do need to be electronic. Yes, sir. They do need to be electronic.
Have to be, is that what you said?
I think that's the whole purpose of.
Okay, all right.
Upgrading them.
Okay,
But is
Right,
it,
right now, it's a manual operated.
okay, yeah, I knew they were.
Yeah.
I've seen them crank up and the curtains and all those kind of things when I've been out there, okay. Okay. All right, $20,000 fitness equipment, strength equipment,
1, 2, 3.
what is it?
I got 3.
I had met.
You were 3.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Nobody else want the fitness equipment? Okay.
Well, wait a minute, we need to talk.
Mayor,
Man,
3, do you want the fitness equipment?
well, I use it. Is it worn out? Is it totally worn out?
It's a little over 10 years old, so it's a little,
Dumbbells,
Let's-
pretty wet.
Let's try to wait a year on that. I've seen some folks up there when I was up there that were dropping those weights and not putting them back and all that stuff. I guess y'all have cameras in there to watch all that stuff. But if I'm voting for right now, I know we probably need it in the future, but right now,
I don't know what.
okay? All right,
ADA.
ADA aquatic stairs,
1, 2, 3, 4.
is that indoor and outdoor pool?
just indoor,
Just indoor,
in
okay.
the deep end.
That is approved,
That's followed, yes.
okay? All right, $50,000 for shower partitions, men's gym, locker room, poolside showers.
1, 2. Only 2.
Not approved,
No partitions for the mansion.
okay? $40,000 for the, Youth Recreation Center sign,
New sign. 1.
is not approved. We do need to work on our signage, Scott,
Yes.
for coming into the city and that and everything else. All right, tennis court, bleachers and shade, $100,000. Okay, not approved. My ink pen's about to wear out.
Another thing the county ought to share with us, with the amount of use of it.
Yeah, I don't see it happening.
All their teams use the tennis court. Every school in the county.
All right, airport, $117,500, rollover airport layout plan, that's 100% grant.
I
All right,
6.
And it may bear repeating all of the next few.
Yes.
When it says rollover, that means we're already committed, that the council's already approved it. And the money moved from 1 year forward to the next.
Well, let's just approve them all.
Yes.
Yeah.
we just-
all right, all of the grants are approved already, is that what you're saying?
So we skip all
Okay,
that.
now the oil water separator is not,
That was approved in last year's budget.
Okay.
But bought it.
all right, and the 1.5 acre purchase,
That was approved about a year and a half ago.
okay, so everything's approved on that right there, right?
Yes.
Okay, the $42,000 skid steer.
Skid
Skid
steer.
steer?
1, 2, 3. Skid steer, 3. Mayor.
What is that for?
Moving dirt.
That's for,
Keep moving, having to loan his house.
I will have.
If we got one in,
It's,
Cemetery.
moving dirt along, for, around runway lights, along the runway and along, and then also doing some, different.
Gate Ben,
So it'll be used all the time? I mean, it'll be pretty constantly used, or,
could you and Ben share the one that we approved for Ben?
that's what I was thinking about, yeah.
Yeah, they'll use it when my guys aren't mowing, but my guys are mowing pretty regular this time of year, so it's mainly
Okay.
spring,
So-
fall when I'm using it
So Ben would use it more than you would?
during the week, and we can use it on alternative days. We can work
So-
this together.
So what does council go? Not approve this one, but we've already approved the other one?
Three, so you say no.
Approved, okay. All right, we'll move to the $1,100,000 terminal ADA renovations upstairs, possible grant opportunity. Not approved for right now. Okay, all right, corporate hangar, $2 million. Not approved for right now. Okay, $360,000 ramp extension. Okay. Okay, not approved, right?
That's all the capital.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right, looks like we've gone through it. Now, Kay, from these things that we've made decision on, you can come up with a budget, you and Scott, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. The things that we have not taken care of, and it will be the next item, I guess, would be the discussion of employee raises. Is that correct? Do we do that in public?
We could do that, or we could do personnel first if you want to.
The hiring.
The people that ask for new positions, we could do that if you want to. You wanna do that first or not?
Oh, okay,
Yeah, we're gonna say.
all right.
So, they're just in different departments. The first one is,
All right, is that
codes
my
and
sheet?
planning didn't ask for any new personnel that I'm aware of. If anybody hears anything wrong on that, holler.
Okay,
I think
you
the
got-
first would be IT, information technology,
right,
had asked for a help desk tech.
okay, do we
Mr.
have,
Mr. Mayor, you and I had a conversation not long ago regarding, new hires and that type of thing. Is there a way that we could freeze the new hire and changing of positions? There are some things that I think that council and yourself, management staff needs to possibly discuss. Is that something that can be done at this time?
Scott, we haven't talked about that, but, when we're doing new hires and stuff and we do the interviews and stuff, do you go with the department heads as well as you when you're doing the interviewing?
I'm not quite clear on the question, so.
Okay, if you've got somebody that's gonna go to work for, as this assistant or help desk person in the IT, you and Kate would sit down and interview this person?
Well, HR, of course, is always involved.
Okay,
And it depends on the position. There's often than not, because of time allowances, I just defer to the department chief, the directors, and who's gonna be working with me day in, day out.
okay. There's no MTS rules or anything like that about a council member or the mayor or the vice mayor or anybody like that sitting in on any of these, new hires as far as just sitting in and watching the interview and looking over the resume or anything? Do you know right now?
No, sir.
Appointed people, but
That is way, if you'll ask MTS, they'll tell you that's way, way, way out of the bounds of any council member or the mayor sitting in on us. You do not get into employee hiring. That's a big no-no. Yeah, I'm sure MTS will back us up 100% on that.
unless it's appointed positions.
Okay, I thought,
We have some for the charters that we're supposed to. do.
Yeah,
okay, I was thinking that MTS said no on that. I was thinking that was right. That sound right? Yeah, and I don't know, charter wise, it says we can't do that, right? You remember
Yeah, the
being
charter
mayor,
says- charter
that's
says
what it
we
was?
cannot.
Yeah. Okay, but let's think about that. Let's think about that. Okay, IT, we're looking right now.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Now this is just me, just saying anything.
Okay.
So what if I just decide, I know somebody on the street, and I recommend them to stop.
Right.
How that work? I'm just asking a question.
Yeah, I guess.
You can always.
Go ahead, Scott.
Yes, absolutely, anytime.
I don't have anybody to say.
Anytime.
I don't know.
Sometimes, you all may not even know this, but sometimes some applications will come in, and I've seen several of your names as reference.
Right.
So, yes,
Yeah.
there's no issue with that,
Put
council.
them as a reference or something like that. Okay? Are we ready to move on the decisions on
Yeah.
these new positions? Okay, IT was asking for a help desk person, right? Is that right?
That's
Assistant?
correct.
Okay,
Yes.
do, everybody in favor of that, stick your hand up?
1, 2, 2.
Okay, all right, that's not approved. All right, what's the next one, Kay?
I think the next one's behind general government, administrative assistant for city manager and city recorder.
Okay? All right, everybody understand what we're talking about there?
Not really.
Huh?
Not really, not sure what, job duties, explanation of that job position.
Okay, Scott, you wanna relay that?
Yes, it's mainly just going to be handling some of the administrative duties, in the day-to-day customer service and other issues like that, helping, with meetings, file retention, filing, just more or less general admin.
Okay.
And also it will be help to make.
All right, any other questions on that? Any more detail that you need before we take a vote? Okay, administrative assistant, what are we looking at dollar wise? 40,000 something?
36,962.
Okay, plus benefits, right?
Yes, benefits would need to be
Yeah.
added to that, yes.
Okay,
That
All
would be the pay part.
okay, all right, we're voting on an administrative assistant to help Scott and Lisa and maybe the mayor.
3, 4.
Okay, approved? Okay. All right, what's the next position, Ms. Kay?
Okay, let me flip here.
I've read through them,
Fire,
but
street,
don't have them listed here right in front of us.
street, let me see here. I think I
I
lost-
knew we had some in public works and
Bear
things that
with
we're
me
gonna
here.
be talking about.
Okay, in streets, well, in streets, we're just eliminating, well, no, Buck corrected me on this because I misunderstood the first time. This is more of like a retitling, I guess you would say. I put in the budget book, eliminate 2 prisoner transport positions. Those people will, transition into, laborers. So it's kind of a, not 100% wash, but pretty close to a wash. The other's just promotions, it's not new positions, so I don't think anything would be considered a new position in streets. Does that sound right, Bud?
That sounds correct.
Okay.
So Buck, did they just stop, when you went out there, they just said they're not available, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, this has been 4 months. We would go out there every day for a month, and they would say they had people, and then they would say, nah, we don't have people. So I was having 2 guys go out there every morning for a month, losing an hour to an hour and a half, going out there waiting and not getting anyone.
Okay.
So
these
we
folks-
never had an explanation of why we couldn't or why we were or anything, so.
When that came up the other night, that's the first, or the other day, whenever, that was the first that I had heard of it. Have we sent a letter to the sheriff of why that might happen, or do I need to talk to the sheriff personally, or anything like that might help that situation? I mean, that's the first I've heard.
Can I say one thing and then I'll shut up
All
on
right.
this? Let me just point out that we are still getting I guess they're called a prisoner, for the police department that helps wash cars, and we get 1 or 2 for animal
Animal
control.
control, okay.
So, I don't know the difference, of course, obviously, that's a lot fewer than 8. That's all I know on that. I know we've been paying, because we pay $3 a day per person,
Okay.
the monitoring.
So if we eliminate the prisoner transport position, that person's already getting paid, right?
Yes, they are.
Okay, And if we eliminate the second one there, they're already getting paid, but you would take these on as permanent,
Laborers.
okay?
They would move into a labor position.
At that same price
Ye-
that they're already getting paid at?
Yeah, because it's, I think they're in that realm right now, what they are. I'd have to look and get with Kay, but I think they've been here long enough that with the raises they would have gotten as far as labor, it'd probably be the same. If they were replaced, it would be replaced at a lower amount. So if they choose, after we say that, we no longer have a prisoner transport, we have a labor position, they might choose to, not wanna be in that.
Okay. Okay, but we're swapping dollars there. I mean, we're already spending that money for
Yeah.
these two people. Okay,
Yes.
but then you wanted, well, let's just go ahead and deal with those two right now. He's asking to eliminate the prisoner transport position and add a laborer. Is that what we would say there?
It's basically changing the title of that
Changing the
position.
title to, so
So it's kind of a wash.
do we really need to vote on that?
It's really not a new position.
Yeah, so we don't need to vote on
We
that,
can,
do we?
no, we can just,
moving somebody around.
yeah, we can
Yeah, so
move on to
We
solid
don't need to
waste.
vote on, okay. Promotions to superintendent and assistant director and increased job performance. Do we need to vote on that?
Not really, that's kind of an internal.
Okay, all right, okay.
type thing.
All right, let's go to the next position that's open then. Thank you
Okay.
for the,
Yeah.
If you go to, solid waste, and Buck may need to help me, but, it's an elimination of the assistant director, a new position called receptionist, and 4 labor positions that are new. And Buck may need to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And like I said the other day, well, I can do it from here, I think you can hear me. The other day, we eliminated the assistant director position, and from that, we redistributed the monies that came for that
yes,
into trying to reorganize ourselves, so we had some redundancy if I was out, or if I got hurt, or if one of the others did, that we could go through and not hire an assistant director. So that part there wasn't adding a bunch, we're just trying to fix our flow. The 4 people that we were asking for is to replace the 4 to 8 jail crew that we used to get. And to me, if you look back, when the city was 10,000 people, Public Works had 42 employees. We have 36 right now. So we were using the jail crew as numbers for our employees, to where I think we need to get our employees' numbers up so we can better serve the residents.
okay. And these would just be laborers,
That's correct.
okay.
I do have open positions, but those are already budgeted within the budget, so.
Okay, so we've got 4 labor
4
positions at
laborers and a receptionist, which is kind of,
30,000 something.
yes, 30,847 each for the laborers. And actually, that's the receptionist too.
Is that part-time pay or is that full-time pay?
That's full-time, unfortunately.
Okay.
And it doesn't have benefits, all that'll be part of it.
Okay,
But these
all
are
right.
just strictly what they're making.
Okay, so that gets you up to 40 people?
41? 41.
Okay. All right.
And 2 receptionists.
All right, let's have a vote on that
and
then.
2
Just one receptionist. The promotion that would happen for the office manager would be the assistant to the director. So she'd be taking on more of the day-to-day. Yeah.
Rachel, okay.
She wouldn't be answering the phones. This person would be answering the phones. That's why they would be at the pay of where we have it at.
Okay, so we're voting right now on Public Works Department to add 4 laborers to the force, correct?
That's right.
And
At 30,000 something,
And the receptionist,
I'm sorry,
and the receptionist.
and a receptionist.
Yes.
I got 3, 4 or 5.
Okay, that's approved, Buck.
Thank you, sir.
You'll speak to me now, won't
Yes, sir.
Can I ask a question before we move on?
you? Yes, sir, Bob, anytime.
You will, sometime, this is your, stagger their break times a little bit. People are wearing me out about them being right there. That, they see them, and, oh, they ain't working, they want them sitting down at the Shell station.
They can stop down there and buy them sandwiches.
Yeah, I know, I used to work break work, I know what you're saying, but.
Yeah, we'll look into that. I never really thought of it. We'd like to keep everybody on the same track so they're easy to find, but
Week goes by, I don't get a mail. Well, that's doing that Shell station.
yeah.
Ain't getting no gas, the gas filled up on the square. I'm tired of hearing that.
You got it. We'll get it.
Okay, all right, let's go to that next position right quick, okay?
Okay, the next I think would be the cemetery part-time seasonal laborer at 13,990.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, all right.
Let's see, animal control, I believe it's the part-time kennel tech going to full-time.
So that's just moving them up a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, all right. What's the next?
The parks is what Mike discussed about having a foreman that can be in
Yeah.
charge on those 3 days that now they don't have anybody in charge. It's mainly the weekend plus another day. It's 41,600 is the pay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. Right. Okay. All right, what's the next?
I'm looking. I don't think we have any other new positions. We have some internal adjustments and so forth.
Okay,
I mean, in the airport, but it wasn't new positions.
okay, okay.
I think that's all to my knowledge, if anybody knows of anything, holler. To
So
my
dollar
knowledge,
cent-
that's all the new positions.
Dollar and cent wise, that's not gonna, we're not gonna add any more to the budget, past what we've just approved, right?
I'll make sure the ones you just talked about are in there.
Okay, the next item that we have, are we ready to discuss employee raises, or do we need to, is that the next item, Scott?
That's-
Well, that's on breakfast, I think.
Well, we gotta talk about the two nonprofits, the library and the senior citizen.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
We gotta talk about the
let's do
pay.
those. Hang on just a second. Make sure we cover everything today.
Okay, so do y'all, do you want me to review what the ask was?
I think
Or y'all
everybody,
may have
is
it.
everybody pretty clear on the library and on the senior citizens, what they're, now,
There was 3, were there not?
There's 3,
One's not asking.
one's not asking for an increase.
Okay.
It's still 25 still.
all right, the increase for the senior citizen center, they're only asking for $1,000. We're giving them 16 now. Now, we do, the city owns that building and maintains that building. Is that correct, Scott?
That's correct.
That's
And
a
they
Shelbyville senior citizens.
They rent it for us for $1 a year. They pay us $1 a year rent.
Okay, all right. She's only asking for $1,000 increase, but they do great work out there.
Yeah, but it costs a whole lot to maintain that building, keep it up too.
Sir?
That building costs a whole lot of taxpayers' money.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
we do.
yeah.
I say give her money.
Okay, $17,000?
20, I suggested last week.
Okay. All right. All right, we got two different figures, 17 or 20 for the increase. She hadn't asked for an increase since 2006, 18 years, I think. All right,
There's great line, that.
let's have a vote on the 17,000 first, okay? All right, let's have a vote on 20,000 for the senior citizen center.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All right, we got 6
Thank
votes,
you so
okay.
much.
All right, she'll be tickled.
Yes, she
Pleased
is.
with that. She does good work. Miss Sonia. Okay, the public library, we're giving 149,000,
829.
okay, all right. And they're asking for an increase of about $15,000, right? 164?
Yes, sir. 164,
Okay.
812.
All right, do you want to give the total increase they're asking for, or do you want to try to find something in between what we give now and what they're asking for? You folks tell me. Any,
So we stay where we are.
I'd like to see it go to the 160 something, south, 7,000.
164, 812.
164,
812.
to match what the county's doing, because they haven't gotten a raise from the city side in years.
Okay, I've got one to say, stay where we are. All right, let's have a vote to stay where we are. All right, any hands on that? All right, we got one.
1,
Stay wherever we are.
yeah,
Mhm.
2,
Okay, 2,
3.
3.
And
Mayor.
I would assume the other 3 are gonna vote to go up. Yeah, so it's up to you.
Well, I wanted to give them an increase, but I don't know if I wanted to go all the way.
They get a lot
Looking
of
at all
private
the
donations,
total
they
budget.
get private donations, they get grants.
Yeah, I knew they did.
There's a lot of things involved in this entity, whereas the Beverly County Senior Citizens doesn't get a lot of that, so.
Okay. Again, if we're looking at money in the future, I'm gonna vote with you guys and hold it for right now for what it is. And then we'll try to increase it as we can. I know they hadn't had an increase in a while. All right, what's the next item?
He stayed at 149.
Yeah.
So, oh, I'm sorry. I think that's what you said.
I got you. I guess we need to address, do y'all wanna give more to paving? I don't know, I know I talked about it earlier, but
Right.
I need to know whether to put that transfer in the budget, moving some general fund over to State Street Aid to do more paving, and if you don't wanna do 500,000, we can do something different. Is that something y'all are interested in?
Let's have a vote on increasing about 500,000 to get that up to 1.1 million to see if we can't get that done. I know, Buck. And we need it, folks, in our paving and streets and things like that. And if pavement's gonna go up, so next year it costs us even more. But that's just my thoughts now.
So 500,000.
But if you wanna increase it by 500,000,
2,
let's hold our hands
3,
up.
4, 5, 6. I got it.
All right.
I mean,
Okay,
my
you can
street
transfer
better
that
be
money, okay?
shining. Shining.
I thought we was gonna auction that, do year 6.
Don't push it.
Well, I thought you were gonna put the 500,000 in it, Buck. Okay, all right, the next item then is raises.
I think that would be the
Have
next
we
thing I would
covered
need,
everything else?
I think we've covered it.
I think that's what I need direction on, yes.
Okay. Covered everything else.
And yeah, it's in the back pocket.
Yeah.
That's just a guide.
Right.
Turn my calculator on.
Okay, so last year we gave 6% across the board, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, all right. We've got numbers on here for 3, 4, and 5. I'd heard, councilperson, or two say something about 2%. We got to vote on something. Did you figure 2%, what that would be?
I was doing that right now.
Okay. That was
Since you said it.
a suggestion.
That's 301,257.
How much? 300?
301,257. And keep in mind, these are estimates.
Right.
What is the COLA recommendation? I don't know why. What percentage of what they kick it out?
I'm gonna read it.
5,
I think it's
5.
5.
Okay, let's have a hand vote on the 2% at 301,257. That would be an 8% raise in 2 years. Let's have a vote on that. 1, 2. Okay, all right. Let's have a vote on 3%, which would be 451,886, and that would be a 9% raise over the last 2 years. 1, 2.
3.
Okay, 4% raise, do we need to go there? Okay, 2, okay, so we don't have a majority on either one of those. Give me some feedback, council, what do you want to do?
I think the state even does 6% every year, and we've done 6% for the last 2 years.
Okay,
We can think the state does that.
okay,
You had 3 for 3%, you break the tie. Yes or no?
3%,
Didn't you have 3%?
I didn't count it, just 3.
okay, all right, do we need another vote on 3%? I'm hearing, maybe we need another vote, let's go 3% raise, that's 451,886. 1, 2, 3. 4. Done. All right, what's next?
Additional miscellaneous budget related items and discussions.
Ma'am?
I just said additional items. I don't know of any right now.
Okay, all right. Everybody satisfied with the budget work we have done today? Are we finished? Is there anything, Scott, that you know of? Speak up, sir, I can't hear you.
We're appreciative of anything the mayor and council, of course, does. And I think you all did some great work in giving our, processes and giving us the equipment we need to work with.
Okay.
But it's hard to keep up with the Joneses. We know our neighbors across the street gave 5%. So when you see additional leakage, which we're already suffering from.
Right.
Now, the place just became harder to retain good quality.
I thought about that,
fire,
yeah. I thought
on
about
and on.
that.
And I just wanted to make that comment.
Okay.
We appreciate everything y'all done for the city.
All right, any other thoughts from anybody else? Have we done what we need to do? Take care of the city of Shelbyville. I hope we have more money next year.
That we did go roughly $8 million into our reserve to balance this budget.
Yes, well, actually 9 now that we did the 500,000. Actually 9 now that we did the 500,000, but 6.8 of that was for projects that had already been approved, and a lot of that's the flood pumps and things like that. So I would say, other capital items besides that plus raises is probably more like 2.5 or something. 2.5 of the 9 were things that were not already approved capital items.
So that's gonna leave us roughly what?
We're gonna have, 11.9 million, which we're still, well, and we just did the
That's
raises.
still
How much was
counting-
raises, $500,000? Okay, so I think we're still at about 33% fund balance. We'll be at about still 11 million fund balance.
But is that still counting the money for the flood pumps and all of that, still involved in that balance?
Yes,
That's
that's
what I'm
still in there. Another 2 or 3 million of that are kind of earmarked for the flood
Okay.
pumps for the next year.
Okay, or if we had a plume problem or whatever,
Right.
we're covered, okay, all right. All right, any other questions? Good question. Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
We're adjourned. Thank you, folks, for all your time. Thank you to